So let's dive into Davinci Resolve to show you guys how it's done.
So the very first thing you have to do is come to effects, under effects, bring in fusion composition, drag it to your timeline. Then let's come to fusion. Now this is going to be a very simple approach, and the steps in this tutorial is going to be the same for all the asset packs that I'm going to be using. So follow along, and all the asset packs you can find it in the description, so you can practice it yourself. So once you come to fusion, you have this media out like this. So before you start importing all these assets to your fusion timeline, the very first thing you need to do is bring in a background node and just join it like this. So let's begin. So the very first thing that I need is a wooden background. So I have the asset here. All I have to do is just drag it like this and join it to the background like this. It will automatically create a merge node. So the steps is quite easy. I'm going to layer each asset from left to right. So this will be the first one. So as we move along, we'll be layering each asset to these sides right here. Okay, so let me just move this like this. And after this media one, that is this wooden background, you press shift spacebar, bring in a transform node, and you can increase the size to something like this. So you have the first layer ready. Now I will bring in this particular asset, that is a drawing. So again, join it like this. Again, shift spacebar, transform, and I'm going to increase the size and maybe change the angle to something like this and bring it a little more down like this. Then select the media in, shift spacebar, bring in a drop shadow, and you can reduce the drop distance, increase the shadow strength, something like this. So in this case, I'm assuming the light is coming from here, so I'm going to leave all the asset shadows to be at the side. So now you can play with the angle if you want, something like this. Increase the shadow strength again, decrease the blur to a little bit, that would be fine. Now let's bring in our next asset, that is going to be this book right here. Same thing, bring it here, join it to the merge, shift spacebar, transform, and in the transform I'm going to leave it somewhere here, increase the size to a little bit, and also the angle to something like this. Okay, cool. And same thing, you can copy this drop shadow and paste it here, so it will also add a nice drop shadow here. So that is also done. Now you can add in a text here. So I bring in a text node, join it like this, and in the text I'm going to type something like driving journal, and you can change the font to something like a handwritten font. Yeah, this looks like a handwritten font. I'm going to change the color to something like a gray. Again, shift spacebar, transform, and you can line this somewhere here, decrease the size, and you can just align it to your book. So you have that too ready. Now let's bring in our next asset, that is going to be this car here, like this. Again, transform, and this time I'm going to increase the size to a little bit, and I'm going to place it somewhere here and change the angle to something like this. And don't forget the drop shadow. So you can Control C and Control V. But in this case, I want to increase the distance to a little bit, because the car is a bit above the paper. I'm going to increase a little bit and also increase the blur to a little bit like this. Cool. And now let's bring in our second last asset. This is going to be a key. Same thing. Shift spacebar, transform, increase the size, move it to somewhere here, something like this. Cool. And again, I'm going to bring in this drop shadow, Control C, Control V. Okay, and now let's bring in our final piece, that is this newspaper right here, and just join it like this. Shift spacebar, transform, increase the size, and I'm going to place it somewhere here like this, and maybe change the angle to something like this or something like this. Cool. Now I want a text to appear here, so now let's build that one. Let me bring the media out like this. So what I'm going to do is, I want the text to be inside a box, so let's build that box here. For that, what you have to do is, let me bring in a merge node. You press this one, a merge node is created, and on this merge I'm going to bring in a background like this, and then bring in this rectangle node and just join it like this. And I'm going to reduce the width, the height to something like this, and also increase the corner radius to something like this. And after the background, you can bring in a transform node, and you can move it somewhere here, and rotate the angle. Let's match up this angle right here, and also I'm going to reduce the size to a little more like this. Now I want a white outline for this, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the background to something white. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this, paste it here, and join it here. But this time I'm going to change the background to black, and under this rectangle I'm going to uncheck this solid and increase the the border width like this, so you have a nice outline. I don't know if there is any other steps to add this background, but it's an easy step, so I added it anyways. Now let's bring in our text. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a text node and join it here, and in the text I'm going to type something like a date, so December 25th 2005, and I'm going to change this font to something like American typewriter. And as always, let's bring in our transform node and let's align it here, decrease the size, bring it here like this. Now I need to animate this text. For that, what you have to do is right click on the text, select follower, a new tab will open called modifiers. Come to modifiers, I'm going to set a delay value to, press enter. Then come to transform, I'm going to animate the size right here. So come to first frame, press keyframe on X and Y, change it to all the way 0. Come to frame like 30, and press this dot right here. So now you'll have this nice animation like this. You can smoothen this, come to spline, press text, Control A, right click, ease, out cubic. So you have this curve like this. So now if I hit play, you have something of a smooth animation going on like this. So you're pretty much done here. What I can do is, come to text tools, settings, enable motion blur, and something like 5 or 6 to have that nice motion blur with the text. Now let's build in our magnifying glass. So this is the only challenging step here. Otherwise, you're pretty much done right here. So to build a magnifying glass, what you need to do is come to this merge, shift spacebar, and bring in a transform node. This transform is to zoom in and zoom out. So you don't want the complete image to zoom in, you just need a specific region to zoom in. So since it's a magnifying glass, you need an ellipse. So bring in an ellipse node and join it like this. And under the ellipse, I'm going to put the width to 0.15 and also the height to 0.15. So any adjustment on this transform node will only happen inside the circle. So if I increase the size like this, you can see that only that region is affected. Now let's bring in our magnifying glass asset. So I'll just bring it here like this, join it like this, and shift spacebar, transform. And what I can do is, align it to the same size of this ellipse. You can zoom in and you can see the path here. So I'm going to increase the size of the magnifying glass, align it exactly to the size of the ellipse, something like that. Now once I move the ellipse, you want this particular magnifying glasses also to move. So you need to do something to align everything together. For that, what you have to do is select ellipse and press this pin right here. So which means it will stay here no matter what. Now I need to align this to this transform node first. Select the transform. So you need to align the pivot point of the transform to the center point of the ellipse. Now since you have pressed the pin, it will always stay here. Now what you can do is right click the pivot, press expression, and from this plus arrow just join it to the center X like this. Similarly, you need the magnifying glass to move along with the ellipse. So select the merge node where you have connected the magnifying glass. Again, same step. You need to align this center to the center of the ellipse. So right click, expression, just join it like this. So that is also done. Now what you need to do is you need to create a distortion inside the magnifying glass. So press transform, shift spacebar, and search for dent, press add. And in the dent, I'm going to change to dent 2, reduce the size, something like this. And again, you need to map the path of the sender to the ellipse. Again, right click, expression, just join it to center ellipse like this. So now what happens is as you move the ellipse like this, everything is followed, like the distortion, the magnifying glass, everything follows your path. If you want, you can, decrease the strength of the distortion to something like this, maybe 0.4. Yeah, that would be good. Now let's animate the path of our magnifying glass. So for that, what I have to do is come to ellipse. In the beginning of the frame, I'm going to move the ellipse somewhere here and press a keyframe on the center. Then let's come to frame 60. Then I'm going to move this somewhere here. Then I'm going to move frame like 110. Then I'm going to move this just somewhere here. Now as you can see, the path is very linear. So for that, what you can do is just select this point and press this smoothen graph here. So it will automatically smoothen the curve, and you can play with the smoothen curve, something like this. And now you can also smoothen out the animation. So unselect everything and just select the ellipse with the center and displacement. Press on this one and select this point, press S. Select this point, press S. This point, press S, but then just change it like this, so that in the middle area, that is the path now is it will go like this. It will stay here for a period of time. That's why I made this linear, and then it will go to this portion. And then while selecting ellipse, come to settings, enable motion blur, can change the quality to something like 6. Now you forgot to add the drop shadow to the lens. So for that, what you can do is, after this is your magnifying glass asset, shift spacebar, drop shadow. Now in the drop shadow, what you can do is you can increase the shadow strength and reduce the blur to a little bit. Reduce the distance to somewhere like this. Yeah, something like this would do. So you have pretty much everything ready. Now all you have to do is to make it more cinematic, you can come to your edit page, and what I generally do is to make it really cinematic, I bring in an adjustment layer, and in the adjustment layer I add effects like a zoom blur and change the center exclusion, increase it to something like 0.4, and reduce the zoom amount to something like this. Then I also bring in a vignette, and in the vignette you can increase the softness, increase the size to a little bit, something like that. Now you can animate the whole path. That is, like, select the video, you can keyframe the zoom and the position. So once the magnifying glass is here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the zoom and the position, and as it moves here, somewhere in the middle, somewhere here, I'm going to change the position to somewhere like this. Then I'm going to come here somewhere where the magnifying glass goes to the newspaper. Then I'll change the position to somewhere like this. Now what you can do is you can smoothen out the animation, come to keyframes, select this one to select the graph. So let's smoothen out the position X and the position Y. So just highlight everything and press on this arrow and select ease in and out. So once you hit play, you have everything ready. This is what you have.
Now, as mentioned, all the assets that you found in this video are in the description, so feel free to download them and try practicing them. It's a really easy tutorial. I'm sorry if it took so long because each step has to be explained separately. So I hope you guys found this video useful. That's pretty much it for this video. For those who don't know, I'm Fenzer. I do travel, tech and filmmaking on this channel. So if you're into that sort of stuff, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.